Chai, welcome back to Timeless Wisdom. Ladies, I just had a conversation that shook me to my core. A seasoned heart surgeon with 40 years of experience told me something every senior woman must hear. He said, if women over 65 stopped this one common habit, I'd see fewer emergency heart surgeries. It's something you might be doing right now without even realizing the damage. Please stay with me until the end. It might just save your life or the life of someone you love. And before we dive in, give this video a like, subscribe, and comment below. I choose heart health. Let's start a conversation. Part 1. The surprising habit that's hurting us. Let me take you back to a quiet Sunday afternoon at a small cafe just off the main street. I had just finished a walk and was treating myself to a cup of chamomile tea when a man sat down at the next table. He looked familiar. Turns out he was a retired heart surgeon named Dr. Harold Green. He had practiced for over 40 years, and most of his patients had been older women. Now, I'm a talker, and I love hearing people's stories, so we got to chatting. I asked him a simple question. Doctor, what's one thing you wish every senior woman knew about her heart? He didn't hesitate. He put down his cup, looked me square in the eye, and said, I wish they'd stop bottling up their emotions. That habit alone is breaking their hearts, literally. I blinked. I thought he'd say smoking, lack of exercise, or diet, but this I wasn't expecting. He went on, I've seen women who ate clean, exercised, did everything right, but their heart still gave out. Why? Because they carried decades of unspoken grief, unexpressed anger, silent stress, and it never left their bodies. It just sat there, tightened their chest, stiffened their arteries, until one day, snap. And you know what? I felt it in my bones, because I've done it. You've probably done it. We push down the pain, slap on a smile, and keep marching forward. But that pain doesn't disappear. It moves into our bloodstream, our muscles, our heart. Part 2. The science behind the stress doctor. Green explained something that gave me chills. He said, when you suppress emotions, your body responds as if you're in a constant state of emergency, like you're running from a tiger, but the tiger is your own sadness, anger, or guilt. Your brain floods your system with cortisol, the main stress hormone. That cortisol inflames your arteries. It tightens the vessels that carry oxygen to your heart. Over time, it creates tiny cracks in the inner walls of those vessels. Fat and cholesterol creep in. Your blood pressure rises. Your heart is forced to work harder. He told me it's not just emotional stress. It's biological warfare inside your body. And here's the part that hit me hardest. He said women are often worse off than men in this regard. Why? Because we're socialized to smile, to say, I'm fine, even when we're falling apart inside. We're praised for being strong, but never taught how to release what we're holding. He shared a story of a woman named Marjorie, 75 years old, church-going, polite, seemed healthy, no major medical conditions. One day, she collapsed in her kitchen. When they opened her up in surgery, they found arteries so inflamed and restricted that her heart had been suffocating for months. When Dr. Green met her daughter after the surgery, she said, Mama never complained. She always kept things to herself. He said, and that's exactly what killed her. Part 3. The generational curse. Let's talk about how we got here. I'm 73 years old. I grew up in a generation where little girls were told to be quiet, to be good, to be polite. You don't raise your voice, you don't make a scene, you certainly don't cry in public. By the time we were teenagers, we were expected to smile even when we were heartbroken, to keep the family peace even if our own hearts were in pieces, to support our husbands, children, neighbours, and church groups while silently neglecting ourselves. We were taught that strength meant silence. I remember my mother, God rest her soul, losing her sister unexpectedly. The very next day she was baking a casserole and ironing my father's shirt like nothing had happened. I asked her, "Aren't you sad, Mama?" She said, "Of course I am, but what good does crying do?" Then she went on folding laundry. That was the lesson. Don't cry, don't talk, just keep going. But here's the truth. We were never told strength without expression becomes suffocation. Holding it in doesn't make you stronger, it makes you sick. And now, as we age, many of us are carrying 60, 70, even 80 years of repressed emotion in our bodies. Bitterness, resentment, betrayal, loneliness, fear, all hidden behind that polite smile. Dr. Green told me, "When a woman walks into my office after a cardiac episode, I don't just look at her medical chart, I ask about her life." 9 times out of 10, there's a story she's never told anyone. Sisters, we are not broken, we are burdened, and it's time we start releasing that burden. Part 4, the physical signs. You might be ignoring. Now you might be wondering, am I really holding in that much stress? Let me ask you a few questions and answer them honestly. Do you sometimes wake up in the morning with a tight chest, even when you slept well? Do you get sudden waves of fatigue that seem to come out of nowhere? Have you ever felt your heart race, not from exertion, but from a conversation you didn't have? Are your shoulders always tense, jaw always clenched? Have you caught yourself crying at commercials or snapping at someone over something tiny? These aren't just quirks of old age, these are your body's red flags. Dr. Green told me the body speaks when the mouth stays shut. The more you suppress, the louder your body shouts. Through pain, tension, and yes, even heart attacks. And don't think it has to be some big trauma to cause damage. Even little things, everyday frustrations, unresolved arguments, old regrets, when ignored, pile up like bricks on your chest. One of my dear friends, Betty, had always been the strong one. After her husband passed, she never cried in front of anyone. She said she didn't want to be a burden, but she started having heart palpitations. They ran every test imaginable. The results? Her heart was structurally fine, but emotionally, she was drowning. You see, the heart doesn't just pump blood, it absorbs pain, and over time it cracks under the weight of what we refuse to feel. Part 5. What you can do today to save your heart. Now, I'm not just here to scare you. I'm here to remind you that it's never too late to change. So let me tell you what Dr. Green recommends to every woman over 60. Every woman with a heart that's tired of carrying things in silence. First, speak. Talk to someone, a friend, a therapist, a pastor, yourself in the mirror. Just say the words you've been holding back. You'd be amazed at how healing it is just to say, "I'm hurt," or "that made me angry," or even, "I miss you." Second, write it down. Get yourself a little notebook and start dumping out your thoughts at the end of the day. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about being nice. Just get it out of your body and onto the page. Third, move your body, gently. He told me that light movement, like stretching, walking, or even dancing in your living room, helps release the tension emotions leave behind. Fourth, breathe. I used to laugh at breathing exercises until I actually tried them. Now, 5 deep breaths with my hand on my chest every morning is how I start my day, and I swear I feel lighter. Fifth, let yourself feel. Crying is not weakness. Anger is not sin. Regret is not failure. These are human emotions. You don't need to apologize for them. You need to let them pass through you instead of storing them in your veins. And lastly, Dr. Green said, if you want to live longer, love deeper. And that starts with loving yourself enough to unburden your heart. Part 6. The message. I wish every senior woman would hear. I want you to hear me now as if I'm sitting beside you with a warm cup of tea and holding your hand. You don't have to keep carrying it all. Not anymore. You've done your part. You've been strong. You've smiled through pain. You've stayed silent when others would have screamed. But now is your time to release. The truth is, your heart isn't just a pump, it's a vault. And many of us have spent our whole lives locking up memories, feelings and truths that we didn't feel safe to share. But sister, it's time to start unlocking that vault, not just for your peace of mind, but for your actual physical health. Dr. Green said to me before we parted, the women who live the longest are the ones who let themselves feel. They cry, they laugh, they yell when they need to, and because of that, their hearts stay soft. At Timeless Wisdom, I'm passing this heartfelt message on to you now, with love, compassion, and a true sense of urgency. Please stop holding everything inside. Carrying the weight of unspoken emotions is not noble, it's not helpful, and it's certainly not healthy. You've earned the right to feel, to be free, to breathe deeply, and to live with a lighter heart. If this message touched you, don't keep it to yourself. I invite you to leave a comment below and share just one emotion you've been carrying for too long. Let's support each other and begin speaking our truths together. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom for more inspiring stories and honest advice, created especially for strong, seasoned women like you. Don't forget to sign up for the Timeless Wisdom newsletter, where I send out weekly letters, tips, and heartfelt reminders for women who have lived, loved, and still have so much life ahead of them. Take care of your heart, darling. It's cared for everyone else long enough. Now it's your turn.